Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. You guys, the link to my bookstore is there in the chat. The first link I think is there. Maybe there twice, but take a second to go check out my books on Amazon. There's more coming. I'm working on 2 more right now, and man, there's just so much going on. You might want to go to my Does Fire Ministry page and sign up for my newsletter too, so you'll know what's going on. Because I was letting everybody know what's going on ahead of time and in the middle of time. So anyway, there's a lot going on. Lots going on, but I don't want this devotion to be about that. So that's why I don't mention it. But every once in a while, I just feel like I should. You can also buy me a cup of coffee if you like my devotions. That would be awesome. That's right, because I need coffee. I need coffee. I've only had 1 cup so far this morning, and I need another cup. So anyway, that's all irrelevant. It doesn't matter. God's word never changes. We hold on to it every single day. And every day we know we can go to him and say, I just got a piece out. Let me just get back to her. Don't let me get off. I will chase a rabbit. Okay. So let's just stay here. We're in John chapter 4 this week. And there is so much. We were there yesterday. We're going to be here again today. And something was pointed out by a preacher I was listening to earlier this week. I can't remember if it was Monday. I think it was Monday. And I never thought of this before. And so I've been thinking about it all week. So we've got Jesus. He said he had to go through Samaria. He broke all the barriers. We talked about that. Watch yesterday's devotion. A man talking to a woman, a Jew talking to a Samaritan. What? A man at the well. The women went to the well to talk, but the men didn't always go. The well is the women's work, right? And he broke all of these boundaries and barriers to get to this one woman. And we don't even know her name. I bet he did though. Anyway, so he tells her, uh, she's like, they're talking about the well and all this. And then she says, he says, we talked yesterday about how he said, I came here just to tell you about the gift God has for you. And then she's like, he talks about the living water. And then he says, she goes, that would be great if I get living water, because then I don't have to come down here. She took it all in the natural, which is so much what we tend to do. We try to make it very applicable to the natural, and sometimes it doesn't stretch that far in our heads. Eventually it gets there, but sometimes we miss. As a matter of fact, they almost missed Jesus coming. The Pharisees did, because they thought he was going to come a certain way. It didn't look like the disciples even messed it up, got it confused, because they thought he was going to set up a real kingdom, take over the throne, kill everybody, and be the king forever, right? They didn't understand he was a king forever before he even came, and he was still a king after. He was going to be king forever, forever, and ever, and ever, and ever. That didn't matter, right? He didn't take on a literal throne, but he's on the real throne, heavenly throne, forever and ever and ever, right? That's why it said, told David, the prophecies were, you will have a king on the throne forever. That was referring to Jesus. David's throne is still occupied by Jesus, no matter what, right? And so she's like, oh, that would be great. Give me some of this water. Then I don't have to come down here and get water anymore. And then he said, he said, go get your husband. Now, this would be a common question in that day, in that setting. A man, single man at the well with another woman's going to say, go get your covering for that day. Go get your man, go get your husband. Because in that day, the man covered still should be doing that, but we won't get off on that. And she said, I don't have a husband. And he said, you know what? You're right about that. You've had 5 husbands. You've had 5 husbands. And now you're just living with the man. He's not the one you're with is not your husband. And so she was like, whoa, you must be a prophet, right? Because he saw into her life. But what was pointed out to me this week, I did not come up with this in my own study time, was in this day and age when we've always thought, well, she divorced all 5 husbands. That wasn't possible. In their culture, the woman could not divorce the husband. So she either had 5 husbands that left her high and dry, or perhaps some died. She could have had 2 died, 3 left. Whatever the case, she had 5 husbands, and she could not divorce them. So she had either been widowed several times, or she had been divorced several times. And so maybe she just gave up there and said, this one I ain't marrying, we're gonna be happy over here on the side, right? I don't care. I don't care anymore. This is number 6, and we're gonna play this hand a little bit different, right, than we have before. Who knows? Who knows? But to think that she had 5 husbands, and they had either passed or left her, or divorced her, or left her and didn't divorce her. Maybe she couldn't marry this one because they had the last one, didn't divorce her. Who knows? It was a mess. That did not scare Jesus away. He didn't say, I can't go through Samaria. He didn't have that drop into his spirit, go, I need to go to Samaria. Why did he need to go to Samaria? Just to talk to this woman. And then he stayed in this town 2 times, and many of the people believed, it says that many people, but he stayed there 2 days. And so he didn't just go through, but he went through Samaria just to talk to her, just to tell her, get your husband. Oh yeah, you've had 5. This one's not even a husband. And she's like, dude, you're a prophet. And then here's what's interesting, and here's why I think he went through Samaria. Disclaimer, total opinion here. I have nothing to back it up. I have nothing to prove it. But she asked a question, and when she asked a question, it was about worship. Think about it. That's the heart of God, right? When Jesus was tempted, and we went through that series here, a few weeks ago in, what was it? It's not John 4 because we're in 4. Anyway, but when he went through the temptation, Matthew 4, I think. Yeah. He went through the temptation. When the enemy says, just worship me, Jesus went, okay, I'm done. I'm done. Don't touch the worship. You can mess with me, the bread, the hungry, the natural stuff. But when you talk about worship, you're talking about my Father. You're talking about intimacy. You're talking about a relationship. I'm done. Get out. Get out of here. Be gone. And here, this was her heart. Her first question when she realized he was a prophet wasn't, what should I do about this? What should I do about that? She goes, you know what? You guys say we should worship here, but we always worship here. Where are we supposed to worship God? What a heart for this woman at the well. That's why I think Jesus went out of his way to meet her. And just think about the concept of how he met her right there that day, the second she was going to be there, how he orchestrated this whole deal. And I really think it's because she said, where do I worship? And that shows her intense desire, in my opinion, to just worship God, no matter what she had been through, no matter whether her husbands had died or left her or divorced her or cast her aside, which then their culture, that a wife was just property, right? It was just property. So he just get rid of that one and go get another one. That's not much different than today, is it? Wow. Anyway, but her question was, where do I worship God? Where do we worship? And Jesus said, those who worship me it does not matter where you are. It matters how you worship, in spirit and in truth. Raw, open honesty before God. It's laying down our lives before him. Romans 12, this is one that says, this is your reasonable service of worship, to lay yourself down on that altar, to be that Isaac, willing to be the sacrifice. We lay our lives down for the gospel. We lay our lives down, and that is the ultimate worship. But worship is an intimate sacrifice, because we lay down what we want for our Father, for our God, and we stop pursuing the things of this world, and we start pursuing the things of God. And there's this whole new teaching on that. My whole point is this: he went through Samaria to talk to one woman at the well about worship. One woman at the well about worship. That's 3 W's, right? And that was his whole intent. Now the town got saved. He sent her back, or she went back. He actually revealed to her that he was the Messiah. He actually told her, I am him. We'll probably talk about that tomorrow. But the whole point, again, is we are so quick to judge. Or maybe I should say, I have been so quick to judge. She had 5 husbands. Wow, what a hussy. Wow, what a, you fill in the blank, right? With your word. What a hoe. Rahab ain't got nothing on her. And just the way you think about that sometimes, right? And in our culture, we've been quick even in others' teaching, it would have been quick to condemn. And yet her first question when she starts realizing he's a prophet, she doesn't know he's a Messiah yet, but he knows, she's like, you're a prophet? Where do I worship? What a heart for God in the middle of what had to be a mess. And I think that's why on that day, maybe it was a Wednesday because it's a W-2, but on that day, he went to that woman at that well to talk about living water, a place he shouldn't have even been. Their mores of the day, that was not the cool thing to do. He wasn't supposed to go there. He wasn't supposed to talk to her. He wasn't supposed to, but he knew he was going to meet a woman who wanted to know about worship. And worship is the crux of the matter. Worship is our goal, because in that worship, that is laying our lives down for him. That is putting his desires above ours. It's more than a song. We crawl on that altar. Life puts us in that crucible, and we become poured out before God. Whatever you want, God. Whatever you need, God. I love that she asked about worship. She could have asked anything. Do we really have to pay tithes? She could have. That's a good question. What do I do with all these men that left me? She could have had any other question, but when she says you're a prophet, what was revealed in her heart was, where do I worship God? She didn't even know he was a Messiah yet. Where do I worship? I love that heart in this woman that we so easily just skip over and condemn for having 5 husbands. It wasn't her fault. It literally wasn't her fault. It couldn't be in this day. That doesn't mean it wasn't her fault they left. I don't know. We don't know the details, right? But we've been so quick to condemn. And yet I thought, wow, she had 5 husbands. They could have died young. The lifespan wasn't long, right? They could have died young. They could have left her. There's no telling. We weren't given these details, and yet the ultimate thing on her heart was I wrong? Was I wrong with these marriages? Was I wrong? Did I do this wrong? Her question was, where do I worship? My answer to that is everywhere, in spirit and in truth. And that relationship is what it's all about. And because we can worship, because she asked about worship, we have this God watching over us all the time. He went to this extreme to get to this one woman in Samaria. He will go to those same extremes to get to you today at your well. And he will show us how to worship. And that's why we can peace out. Peace out. Have a great day. I hope I said something that made sense. I'll see you again tomorrow.